Hello, there we go. My mic is now working. Happy days. Let me quickly update the chat as well. I think I need to update this ID. Fantastic. Now if anyone drops by, send a message in the chat. I'll be able to see if the that's working. Matter of fact, I can do it myself. Hello. That was a capital E by mistake. Is chat going to work? Give it a few seconds to catch up. This headset is very broken. Don't think the chat is working. One moment. Hello Hyped, welcome in. Just trying to get the chat working whilst we go to show off some of the new DLC. Same in arcade at the minute. I'll do a big reveal of the PC world in a moment, or computer world, not PC world. It's computer. It's one of the sort of things we had early on was the I kept naming it the PC world, and it's not the PC world. It's the computer world. Obviously, PC world is a brand, so I didn't want to cause that confusion. Found the broadcast page. Let me see. Let me know as well if any audio issues are happening there, Hyper, as well. Or anyone else that's in the chat. Oh, I've got to. There's a button. I forgot what it was. You have to like refresh it. How do I do that again? Well, just bear me a moment. I'll work this out again. Don't stream for 2 weeks and I've forgotten how to do things. Ah, found it. Refresh cache. There we go. And there's the chat. Took longer than I should have done, but there we have it. It's now working. Delete that one. And there we go. So yeah, apologies for the slow start there. I can change this as well, because this should be saying wish list. Play. There we go. Yeah, calling Voxels now. So yeah, first stream since the release of the game, actually. So you guys had a chance to play it. Thank you very much to everyone who's left reviews. Played the game. Obviously, we had quite a number playing on the first weekend. I haven't checked the figures this week, but it has been a lot of players. So thank you very much to everyone who's jumped in and played. That's really been quite a lot to us. So thank you to everybody. And yeah, today is the first DLC being released. It is the computer DLC. You see there on the list. I went through and played through yesterday. Hello Shanda, welcome in. But yeah, warnings, got the back here. This is spoilers. I have finished all the levels. I've made some changes to fix some things as well. If you spot anything whilst I'm playing, let me know. But I'm going to be playing through the levels that I've made changes to make sure that they're playing alright. But yeah, big reveal. Let's turn it around. Jack's done some amazing work on the RGB. These are all synced up, so this colour effect throughout the PC is all synced up, which is very nice and impressively done. So yeah, there was only a few things to change when I played this. One of them notably being the power supply cable. If you look, I'll try to zoom in there, can't zoom in. Where the cable goes over, there was no all these little bits here. They weren't there, and it just felt weird that like there's a bit of cable and a bit of cable. There wasn't any sort of like connecting bits. So I edited the wire a bit. So we'll play through the power supply first. If I can find it, and then if I try and remember what other ones I've done or changed whilst we were computer testing, then I will. No new game plus button. Why is that? I can just delete it and start again. Is it because I've made changes to? It was my first time actually editing a level myself, so I probably made changes incorrectly and broke the version control. I imagine that's, yeah, because I didn't make changes to the motherboard, so I can play that again. So I've probably broken that. We'll delete it, we'll play it again. Again, that's why we're QA testing. Probably be fine for everyone who plays the game, because they won't be making changes again after release, so should be fine. Should be fine. But yeah, this whole concept of this DLC is obviously it's a computer, but we wanted to play around with the scaling of the levels we can make. So obviously, if you've played through the game, you'll notice a lot of the worlds, a lot of the levels are in the same sort of scale. So sort of quite a landscape sort of look at things. And I want to do something that's like very close up and just going in depth into all the intricacies of a model. And we thought, what better one to do within a computer? And thankfully, the patrons selected this one as well. The patrons did choose this theme. So thanks to the patrons for picking this one as well, because it's turned out quite nice. Where's this last one? There it is. And yeah, again, the whole point of this is just to play around with the idea of the scaling and see if the game feels just as good or any different or even better with a level that's scaled up like this one. And I quite enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys do as well when you play it tonight or whenever you buy the DLC. It's coming out at 8 PM British time, this DLC. The store page is live as well. If you scroll down on the current Voxels store page here, you'll see the DLC should be in the DLC list. You can go to the store page, you can wishlist it as we count down to release tonight. It was quite a close turnaround time, mainly because we've had a bunch of time off in the office, so it hasn't been as much time as usual to get things prepped. So yeah, you did get sort of dropped with the news yesterday. We released the news yesterday that the store page was out, and we're coming out tonight. So quick turnaround in terms of your guys' perspective if you haven't been in the Discord and stuff, but yeah, it's available now. You can wishlist the DLC, and in just a few short hours you can buy it and play it as well. There are still a few little things here and there to fix. I did leave a little list for Rob. Rob is coming back from his holiday today, so as soon as he gets back, he's got a couple of things to fix. So sorry about that for Rob, but it should all be sorted in time for 8 o'clock. And any sort of tech nerds out there can help me point out any issues that may be incorrect in the actual technicality of this. This is the power supply. We had the fan underneath. Can't rotate the camera, but we saw the fan that we put in at the bottom, and we've got the cabling on the side here. And then we have sort of the internals, any sort of microchips or whatever might be inside the power supply. I know Jack was doing a lot of research whilst he made these levels. He was going through all of the just various sort of tech videos, tech support, PC building stuff, and just getting as much detail down as he could on the interiors of these. I know he had a much easier time making this one than he did with the arcade world, because even again with the arcade world, that was another step in sort of scaling up and trying out a different scale, and that seemed to work quite well. People seem to quite enjoy that one. But I know Jack had quite the trouble trying to find references to what the interior of arcade machines are like, because there's not as many sort of videos out there about people fixing them and that sort of thing. So there was a bit of difficulty for him with the arcade. But I know for this one, there was plenty of referencing, plenty of guides to sort of see what is inside of each of these devices. So hopefully it's as accurate as possible. I know some of the feedback I was asking about when I was like, what's this random little bit here and there, he was like, he said he wasn't sure, but it was on the actual physical thing he's copying, so he's put it in. So hopefully it's very accurate. But if you do spot anything, you think, you know, this graphics card should have a certain thing here instead of here, or you know, whatever sort of feedback you can make on a technical level to building a PC, please do. We can with the versioning of the levels in current Voxels, we should be able to make corrections to the levels post-release as well, if they are needed. So any sort of feedback, even if it is regarding changing and fixing levels, don't hesitate to let us know. Quick shout out to our Discord as well. Congratulations to the winners who were selected an hour ago. We do a giveaway every time we release a DLC for Colouring Pixels, Colouring Voxels. And 5 lucky winners won Steam keys to this DLC as well. So if you're not in the Discord, I recommend joining our Discord. It should be on the store page below. There should also be links on the website, or maybe even in game. And if you join the Discord, you can enter those giveaways as well for the chance to win the DLCs for free. Obviously, this one's ended for this DLC. You've missed a chance for the computer DLC if you haven't joined the Discord yet. But for any DLC to do in the future, yeah, it's definitely worth joining just for that, if not for interacting with the community as a whole and speaking to the devs and the players. Where's the last of this number 1? Am I blind? Yes, I am. It's right there. So yeah, all that's left for this DLC, other than actually releasing it tonight, is some fixing from Rob, and then me double checking all the levels I changed myself yesterday as well. One of the big things I had to address yesterday was on the main menu. We saw the full PC sort of finished up there on the screen. When that had been placed in, the positioning and the size hadn't been addressed. So the PC was very, very large, and it was also flying really high up. Which you can kind of see if you look at the screenshot on the DLC store page. So I'll need to update that in the future once I've got a better screenshot. But if you look closer, you'll notice that the PC is actually flying, which is not intentional. It was just the way it was put into the game initially. I was planning on streaming this to Twitch as well, but unfortunately, since Rob's not in, I'm not able to log into the Twitch because he's got the security codes to get into the accounts. So we're back on the store page, but nothing wrong with streaming on the store page. Then we attract all the actual players of the game as well, not just people who like to watch the live streams. So, but let us know, where do you prefer to watch the streams? Do you prefer watching on Twitch? Do you prefer on the store page? I know a while ago we managed to set up the multi-streaming where we could stream to multiple platforms at once. But yeah, let us know if it's worth getting us back onto Twitch now that the release of the game is done and the sort of store page hype isn't as much of a drive. We've got all these parts here. I think this is meant to be sort of the wire socket where the power cord plugs in. With this level in particular, it's very intricate down here at the bottom, and then a large chunk of it becomes just the cable running up the interior of the PC. And you find that with a few of these levels, there is some yeah, no problem, that happened. I'll check over it again once done with the stream just to see. I do appreciate you chiming in, helping out with that sort of stuff as well. Really handy. The community appreciates it as general, I assume as well. But I'll have a quick look once I'm done with the stream. That's another good point. I did import all of the translations yesterday for various languages, but I think as of me clocking out yesterday, there was only 3 or 4 languages translated by the community. So I'll double check, see if there's any more that have been done as well that I can get imported into the game in time for release as well. Otherwise, the remaining languages will need to get updated post-release. They'll still be translated, but there may be issues with the translation until we get that help from our community. So yeah, another special special shout out to thank all those community members who were helping out with the community translations. If you're unaware, with the translations of the game, they're mostly helped out and done by the community in general as well. So we have a Google Sheets document that's accessible from our Discord, and anyone can chime in and sort of check the translations, make any edits. It's just sort of a great community effort, and it's really quite nice and nice to see, and very thankful to our community for being that helpful as well. So yeah, it's sort of always going to be a work in progress. Every time we release new DLC, we'll have to get those translations double checked, etc. But for the most part, I believe we're done in terms of the settings and all that good stuff. That did get quite a big drive over the past couple of weeks from the community. But yeah, special shout out to Hyper as well, because he's adding all adding the descriptions for a lot of the words and phrases, because obviously with language some words have multiple meanings, etc. So it's important to make sure the context is provided as well. But as I was saying about some of the levels in this DLC, you'll find as you play through, these shapes are a bit funny in terms of, I say funny in a term of like different to the previous worlds, because you've got all this empty space because just the cabling being added into the power supply section. But then some of the levels are like the panels on the back of the PC, and they're vertical. So you're playing quite a thin but tall level, and that's quite different as well to anything we've provided to the previous levels in the actual base game. So let us know how that feels as well, because it does feel different. On one hand, it's quite rewarding doing multiple layers because you get a layer completed quite quickly. On the other hand, it is a lot of layers, and they look quite daunting when you scroll up and you can see this number getting larger and larger over here on the left. Yeah, see this one goes all up to 127. It's very large, and most of this is just going to be the cable and the brackets attaching it to the motherboard, I believe. Up here. So you get through these layers very quickly, which is quite rewarding in itself. But again, that large number on the left there can feel quite daunting. So when you play the DLC, let us know how you find it, what you think of the difference in the actual level shapes compared to the standard ones we have in the base game. Okay, you can get through these quite quickly. It was what, 127, now we're already down to 105, so you get through them quite quickly. And thanks to everyone who plays the game in different ways, because some of the bugs we experienced on launch was due to people playing back to front, which is totally valid way of playing the game, but it's not something we really did in testing, which is why it slipped through the net. That's been corrected now, as you see. There's no issues, but there is still feedback to what we're taking on board. So my task today is going through all those messages, making sure that nothing slipped the net, because some have, with us having time off and stuff like that. So I'm going back through all the messages that haven't been replied to and making sure everything is being seen to. This is the cable I was referring to. If we go back up to the top layer, we'll see the cable. So yeah, if we look with the camera, here's the example of what I was referring to before. If I go down a couple of layers, actually make a better view. So initially this cable was just this section, and then jumped up this section, and it just looked a bit weird. The cables are like side by side, but not really overlapping at all. So I've added these sections to the middle of all of the overlaps, just so the cable doesn't look like it's just snapped in multiple spots. And I think that's what broke the my New Game Plus ability. So we'll play test this level. We'll get to the end, and then I'll see if I can get the New Game Plus button. If the button's still there, happy days. The issue will have been from me not doing the version properly, because I didn't know what I was doing, so I kind of probably fudged it. But if there is an issue, we can report that and make sure Rob knows about it when he logs in later on tonight. Before release, obviously, get it fixed before launch. What are these? Okay, so there's more clips from the motherboard at the back here. There's nothing attached to it. There's no cables going up the back, but the clips are still there. If you made this level, if you played this level, sorry, before the rest of them, that might feel a bit weird because you would just see the clips floating. But this piece does all come together really nicely. Because one of the other things we've seen from feedback is people much prefer the, obviously probably not everyone, but people much prefer the worlds that sort of fit together perfectly, like the volcano world, the arcade world, everything fits in a space, as opposed to the sort of planetarium where, due to the nature of what we're building, there's not really enough room to lay things out in a logical sense. And this computer world is another example of one where everything just fits perfectly together. Everything has a space. So once you've built the levels around the levels you've just finished, you see it all snapping together quite nicely. Oops, keep using middle click. I think your feedback is very valuable. Anything from issues and bugs to actual just suggestions. We've been compiling a list on Trello, other patrons will be able to see. We have a Trello board and all our work that goes on there, so all the bugs that need addressing, all the suggestions, all the features we want to add to the game, everything gets put on there with a task. And we just make our way through it, bit by bit. And some of those suggestions have been just small, quick things we can put in. And some of them have been quite large, like the ability for different game modes, essentially is how we're addressing it. This is a bad example of one, but some of the levels, like in the medieval world where there's a lot of ground, some players don't care so much for the underground bit. Obviously other players do. So we want to add different game modes to it to sort of address all the different player types. And maybe somewhere you've just got the 3D model and you're painting from the outside, like some of those mobile apps. And others where it's more in depth like this, where you are building from the ground up, but maybe it doesn't need to be top to bottom, maybe it can be side to side, you can change the play style. But again, that's a big task, something that Rob's going to have to spend a lot of time on. And a lot of player testing to make sure they don't break. But yeah, all your feedback again is really important, so make sure you drop your feedback either in the game reviews, in the Steam forums, on the Discord, even send us an email, however you want to contact us. We do make our way through and reply to all those. Again, that's what I'm doing today because I've got a bit of catch up to do from my time off. But we do read all the comments and we do reply to them all. We take them all on board as well. So yeah, any suggestions, any ideas, no matter how small or crazy you think they might be, please let us know and we'll definitely take everything on board. And you notice this palette at the bottom still jumping. So that's one of the bug fixing things I've had to push back to Rob. This will be a good example of how non-circular worlds. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Even though the pedestal is circular, we were conscious of the fact that we don't want all the worlds to be circle. Because even when Jack's making the levels, it's easy to fall into the habit of making it fit the pedestal, because then it looks like a finished piece. But they don't need to be circular, right? It's just, at the end of the day, it's just a pedestal to put the world on. It doesn't need to be a perfect fit. So this is a step towards showing that, you know, the worlds don't need to be circular. And that's just the importance of that is just to add variety. If everything falls into a circle, then you're sort of A, limiting what we can make, and B, limiting your expectations on what you're going to get, right? Because you can think everything's going to have to be fit into this perfect circle. You sort of start guessing what's going to be next. Which we don't want. We want each world to feel unique and special and a complete mystery until you build it. So yeah, stepping away from making sure every world is circular is part of that process as well. We have Rob's fixed part of the issue. So I know one of the feedback bugs we got from a few players was the colour palette jumps, which you're about to see in a second when I finish number 7. Boom, there we go. And it's not very like appealing to look that way. It's a bit of a distraction. But that happened all the time. You notice it isn't happening on the left here anymore. And the reason for that is this has a scroll. And that's what I've determined is when the colours go past the screen, it doesn't jump when you finish a colour. But when the colours or even the scroll bar on the left are short enough that it doesn't take up the full thing, then the palette doesn't jump. So we've half fixed the issue. I'll give the feedback to Rob and hopefully be able to address that tonight, we'll see. So if I finish these ones, it might not jump because it's kind of on the edge. Still jumped, it was just too short of having enough colours. Hopefully we can get a layer with enough colours to show off what I meant there. But again, it's just evidence that we are taking your feedback on board, all the bug fixing, all the bug reporting, and we do take seriously, and we are making an effort to address all those as well. One thing we're really happy with as well, with the outcome, was the particle effects and materials that we can apply. I think Medieval World and Volcano World are the two best examples for that. But unfortunately this world doesn't have as many. It does have some. We've got the RGB, that's really good. It really adds a lot. And we've got the glass pane as well to see through into the PC. And there's like a little bit of airflow going through the fans. And I think that's about it. Maybe some sparks in the power supply actually when we're done, we'll see. Hello Noah, welcome in. But I think this world, although it's got fewer materials and effects, again, it could just be the vibrant colours of those, but I feel like the effects feel like more because of the fact that there's not as many of them. But again, that could be my interpretation, so let us know when you play the level yourself, or the world yourself, how you feel the materials and effects feel. Do you like the materials being toned down? Do you like fewer of them? Do you want more of them? We can always take on board when making new levels. Go a bit backwards in this one, because we can now. I don't think we're going to get a layer with enough colours to show off the partial palette fix, but when we get to another level, maybe we can find one there. I think this is the top of the power supply unit, so this should be the end of the level. Not the end of the level, the end of the main chunk. It should just be the cabling left after this, I think. Thank you, no, I'm pretty good, nice and chill. One in the office, so it's quite quiet, but that's fine. It's a Friday. Nice being quiet on a Friday, give me a chance to catch up on everything I need to do. How are you doing? How's everyone else doing? Let me know. Yeah, just the cabling and the brackets left now. Yeah, sorry, backwards again. Personally, I quite like how the end of level animation remembers the order you're playing. Then, because now we will see sort of going up and then coming down. And it's just quite satisfying. Yeah, no one wants you busy on a Friday, do they? Although, as I said, Rob will be a bit busy when he finally gets back from his holiday. He's driving back now. And then he's got a decent little list of things to address for the launch. So hopefully it's not too much for him, but... Yeah, it was my first time actually, because Jack was unavailable yesterday, it was my first time actually jumping in to edit the levels manually myself. Normally I'll just give the feedback and then Jack corrects it and then I'll check it again. That's all the workflow we go for. But I had to jump in and change it myself yesterday, so it was a bit scary actually touching it. Touching the levels, but hopefully I haven't broken anything. We'll find out when I finish this QA. There are some tinnies left in the fridge, you're right, from the launch party, so I could do. Welcome in, Hunky Gladiator. Boom, there we go. Okay, so I was thinking the black at the back was part of the... Excuse me. I thought it was part of the... It's all brackets, but it's just all the cabling, so I think nothing's really floating. A very fun little level. The new Game Plus button is back, so it probably was a case of the way I fixed the level might have addressed that, might have broken the version control for that particular save. If I relaunch it, we'll see. Yeah, new Game Plus is still there, so that's good. No issue to report there. The level looks better in terms of the cable fixing. If I do this to myself, I did sort of fix it, so it feels weird saying that, but yeah, the cable's looks more bendy for Voxels, so that's good. Again, spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. This is, I have finished all these yesterday. So there's what the end world's gonna look like. And as I was saying before, we've got the glass pane, we have the RGB lights, and then we have the wind coming through. I don't think we have any more particle effects, but I quite like that. I feel like the reduced effects are just a nicer touch. Makes the one there stand out better. See if we can figure out what levels this is part of, because then we can show off the... is it the back panel? Nope. Won't be heatsink. Don't think of interior. Trying to remove the flooring so we can see the power supply I just put in. Well, yeah, spoiler, new game plus pack colours. That's in the patch notes for tonight's DLC as well. Good spot. Didn't mention that at all. We'll show it off as well, because it's not just the button that gets updated, it is the actual base as well. The pedestal changes with it as well. So if you're over the city, but you haven't finished, it starts off as grey, and then when you finish, it turns to yellow, and then when you go through all the colours, the pedestal updates as well. So, in honesty, I'm going to delete the bird so I can show it off. I think the blue looks the nicest, so I might leave this as blue. If you want to go back, you got to delete it. So, let me just quickly jump through this. I know I said we're going to be showing off the... new DLC, but this is a very quick level. We can jump through it. There was a couple of minor fixes Rob has to address with this, but they're very minor, so shouldn't take them long. It should be ready for tonight's release, hopefully. So, for example, now that's updated, but the pedestal will still be black when it loads in until I change and then go back. So it takes a second to update, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm sure Rob can address that. And then if we go through again, I think the red button looks weird as well. That's just a visual issue. And as I said, I prefer the look of the blue, so I'm going to make it blue. So it looks quite nice. But just that extra sort of feeling of completion when you see a bigger end result for New Game Plusing, as opposed to just the colours on the card or even on the menu, right? Because that's all we had in colouring pixels. You see this button looks a bit off, but that'll get fixed. There we go. Change the pedestal. And it's 2 more times to get to blue. I'll take a second. But yeah, again, it's the exact same New Game Plus game flow as colouring pixels, but we wanted to add just extra layers since we have the ability to, and make it feel like more of a sequel, an improvement to the game, as opposed to just the same again in a new game. Green looks pretty good too, but get to blue just to show it off. See if you have a New Game Plus the game yourself yet, or if like no, you've run ahead and got all the way to black before we've put the update out, you won't get to see the blue for a while. So I'll quickly show it off so you can see the blue. There we have it. There we go. Quite a vibrant, different colour to the base, and I quite like the way it looks in this volcano world. So yeah, that's coming out as well with the update. So yeah, something else to look out for other than just the new DLC. Now again, back to trying to work out. If I only spend a couple more. Is it just the base? Is it all part of the base? Yes, it is. No, it's not. See? I'll try to move this panel here. I know what it'll be. It'll be that one of the side panels. This one maybe? There we go. And that's something I've just noticed as well. I'll have to make a note for Rob. So we can't see the top of the power supply, and the reason for that is because this port sits directly on top of it. So part of the optimization to make sure we don't render stuff that isn't being seen, those faces aren't being rendered. So when we remove the top, we can see inside again. Yeah, this button's working again. I'm not sure if this was fixed previously, but that's, yeah, quite handy. It'll just see inside and stuff. Yeah, really helpful. It was really helpful. I think this was your save file that I used. I think it's just the volcano ones I imported into my own, and then I just had to play through the bird level to check it, to test it. So it did save me an awful lot of time. So thank you very much for that. It's really appreciated. What else did I make changes to? The fans. I made changes to the fans. So when you give us it, because we can. This one was more of just an aesthetic change. It wasn't really important, but essentially this right side wasn't symmetrical to the left side. So there was a cube here and here. So it was sort of a 90-degree ending as opposed to these being slightly rounded. And that was like the first 3 layers, and they happened again at the top of the fan as well. So double check I didn't delete incorrect cubes. So far so good. Again, it was the first 3 layers at the bottom, and I think the top 3 layers of the fan. So we'll play our way through this and double check that I did it correctly. It's looking good so far. Yeah, so this sort of like rounded effect on the bottom of this fan, but not on this fan, and it was very noticeable. When you're looking at the model as a whole, you didn't really spot it. But when you're playing through the model, like layer by layer, like this, you really do spot when that symmetry's not exact. So that's the kind of fix I was expecting to find, and I'll probably continue to expect to find as we play through more DLCs over the 12 months of release. Because that's sort of human error that you're not going to... That's just going to happen. We can't really prevent that happening. Which is why it's important to QA test and try and find those things before release. The fact the symmetry was flipped, maybe wonder if Jack copied and pasted the fan as well to like do the top and bottom, save himself a bit of time, because it is asymmetrical on both axes. So although he saved himself for time, it also repeated the, assuming he did do that, it repeated the missing symmetry at the top as well as the bottom. But it's a very easy fix. Rob's made lots of efforts with the actual game editor that we use to make the game. So with, say, color and pixels, any changes to the image we have to make in image editing software. We have to change the actual physical PNG and then re-import everything, which is, it's a longer process, and it can cause issues with save file names, etc. So it has a very longer process for a quick fix. Whereas with this with current voxels, they were conscious of the fact that it's bigger files than just a PNG, so that long time period could be compounded with the actual file sizes being larger and stuff. So all I had to do, I didn't have to go into the actual voxel editing software that Jack uses. I didn't have to touch it at all. All I had to do was go into the Unity editor and then just load this level up, and you can use put tools inside the editor to delete cubes and stuff, which is all I did. I went in, changed some cubes, and then press save. As simple as that, which is very helpful. Yeah, no problem, Noah. Thanks for dropping by. Really appreciate it. Hope you're looking forward to the DLC tonight as well. I'm sure we'll see you around in Discord. Enjoy whatever you're going to do next. Yeah, we're excited to release this DLC, first of many. We hope you guys are excited for it as well. Again, it's coming out in just over 6 hours time, so not long left at all. So yeah, make sure you got your timer set for 8 PM British time, and you can get the DLC as soon as it's live. Thankfully, from my perspective, there wasn't many levels to change, so in terms of what I've got to check over for release in 6 hours time, there's not that much to check, thankfully, so should be all good to go soon enough. One thing I was trying to change, so we have you've seen on the main menu there, the glass panel, and it's just transparent glass, there's nothing fancy to it, like the RGB lighting, but when you're playing it, it's a bit weird because just the transparent glass that you're filling in. So I wanted to change something about it to make it feel a bit better. And someone had this, I think Kai had the suggestion, our volunteer, had the suggestion to add the RGB effect, but really subtly, so it's like transparent, but like slight RGB. Just so it looks like when you've got the finished piece that the light is reflecting onto the glass, which it does do if you've got a RGB PC tower. And I spent a good hour playing around with the materials, trying to work out how, so again, never done it before, I was just blindly trying it. And duplicating Jack's RGB, trying to make it transparent, watching tutorials, trying to work out how to do it, and I gave up because I couldn't get it to work. It was either fully RGB with no transparency, or I managed to get it from transparent to black and back to transparent at one point. I'm like, that's not what I wanted. So it was cycle through from transparent to black. So yeah, I thought, I can't wait, so I'll just leave this one. Maybe we can fix that in a future update, because again, we do have the benefit of being able to fix levels post-release, which you can't do in Clone Pixels really, without affecting people's save files, but it shouldn't be a problem with Voxels. So when Jack's back, or maybe if Rob knows how to use materials better than me, maybe we'll get that added in after the fact as well. See, I'm checking the tops here, because again, I think it was one of these sides wasn't symmetrical, but now they both are. It looks much better, nice and symmetrical all the way up and down. Apologies. And that's the actual fans complete. Now it's just the actual wiring that plugs into the motherboard. It's a very fast finish. Yeah. There we go. Quite a satisfying level, even though there's not much colour to this one. It still feels very satisfying to play that one. Quite enjoy that. You've got the interiors of the fans as well. Did see some colour on the middle of the fans with the moving parts. One thing we would like to add as well, nothing that's in the game at the minute, and it won't be in for the DLC release, but you would like to add actual moving parts as well. So when you're finished building the fan, maybe the fan could spin, that would look quite cool. Or in the medieval, when you finish the flag could wave. Right now we've just got the colours and the particle effects, which do look really good. But yeah, those little fans there around the heatsink. Plugged in right up there at the top of the motherboard. Trying to remember what else I changed. I changed this, I changed the fan. Changed the back plate, so I guess I could show that off a little bit just to make sure it's not broken. It's a larger level, but it's one of the ones I talk about where it's straight up and down. So you play through it quite quickly. Yeah, to these little nudge, these little bits here. There's a blue one there, and there's two little grey pins there. There's some pins at the top which you can't see in this angle. Don't think I'm going to see because it gets cut off with the height. Oh, they kind of see them right there at the top. There's some grey pins at the top, but those make sense as where the top's sitting. But these ones, I couldn't see anything. Oop, apologies for that. Windows notification, that was me. I couldn't see anything that those were actually connected to. So I deleted those. It took me quite a while back and forth trying to get those to save in the editor. So I'll double check if that actually did save. We'll see. When I was playing through the level, I made my note that there's these weird pins, but maybe they serve a purpose. But I couldn't see in the editor. I was trying to rotate the cameras around and hide different levels and see what they were connected to. I couldn't see it, so I even went into the voxel editor and just used it to. I didn't make any edits in it, but I just used it to pan around and have a look, like in between the blocks, and see if those pins were connected to anything. But as far as I can make out, they weren't connected to anything. If they're meant to be external screws or whatever, like to connect the case together, I couldn't see anything that actually pointing to that there wasn't holes on the other sides where they're slotted into, so I made the decision to remove them. As we go through, we'll see if it's saved, because again, it's having issues with the actual saving for the branch, so hopefully it's gone through correctly. We'll see when we get a few more layers. No, it's still there. Okay, pins are still there, so I'll have to look at that again. It's not the end of the world if they're in, I guess, but I will let Rob know that that one hasn't worked. I couldn't work out why that wasn't saving. The other one saved just fine. Like the power supply and the fans that we've just done, they saved perfectly fine. But this one I couldn't get to save them to push through the branch. So I don't know why. So we'll leave it there, because we know it's not updated. It hasn't changed since I actually made the update. I guess, just in case, I'll delete it and try again. Maybe it's the versioning issue again. And if it is fine on this one, I don't think there should be a problem for any of the actual... any of you guys, because you won't have access to the prefixed levels, so you won't have the same corrupted save that I might be having here. If the pin is still here, then I'll have to make a note to make sure we can look at this before release. But again, it's just 3 voxels that need removing. It's not that big of a job. It's really quick and easy to do. I was just having some issues getting it saved, apparently. Well, I should have made a note what number the layer was on, but I don't know how high up I need to go here. Maybe any moment now, any one of these layers. If I see a number 5, then we know we need to cry. There it is. Yeah, okay, so it's layer 18. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, that save hasn't gone through. That correction, I will have another look at that. That's fine. And the rest of the level is just the rest of the back panel. And then so the back panel's not going to be on the PC anymore because it hasn't finished. But it's just the rest of the back panel, but it's also including the top as well. The grate on the top of the PC. It's part of the back panel. There it is. So you see nice open top now. Get all the dust inside. So yeah, that is quite an important bit to get back on. But yeah, I was looking. Without the back panel on, I'm instantly seeing there are holes there and a hole there. And then these holes. So these pins probably do line up with these holes, don't they? And how I look at it. As a matter of fact, the fact it didn't say it was probably a good thing, because I reckon that's what those pins are for. So I'll probably leave them on. Actually, no, that's because I was checking. I was removing the parts in front to look at the back panel and try and work out where it was. My mind didn't think to remove the back panel and look at what the back panel is attached to. But yeah, that looks like the same spacing, and that's where the blue line is. So it turns out I'm just an idiot, and I didn't need to remove them anyway. And it's a good thing that the pin didn't work. But you can see more of the. As you take parts off the PC, you can see the intricacies and hopefully the accuracy of the actual PC build as well. And yeah, that's coming out again in just 6 hours time, so make sure you check that out. I am going to start wrapping up the stream here. It's been an hour. I don't want to show off too much. I know we're kind of like showing the final result as a spoiler, but I don't want to show off all the intricacies of each individual level too much, sort of give it away. So yeah, make sure you check out the store page on Steam. And as well as that, set a timer for 8 o'clock and stick around for the DLC coming out. And then once we have the release, you can play it yourself and let us know how you feel. And yeah, this will be the first of many DLCs, so any ideas you have, let us know. If you're unaware, all of the DLC themes are selected by our community. So any suggestions you have for worlds, let us know. Again, same with bug reporting, either by Steam forums, emailing, chatting in Discord, whatever works for you. We make a long list in Discord of all the suggestions for world themes, and then anyone in Discord can vote on what ideas they like the most. And then every single month, the top 5 suggestions from that list get sent to our Patreons, and the Patreons make the final decision on what the next world will be. And that's where the computer world came from, because that was one of the suggestions, and the Patreons picked it. So that's why it got made. So yeah, any ideas you have, let us know. And then every single month, your idea could be the next one that gets put into the game. Actually, worthy shout out as well. Speaking of upcoming DLC, we have the competition as well. That's running till October, so you still got a month and a bit to do that. Yeah, make sure you click the button, check out read more, check out the submit. And anyone can give it a go. Give it a try, submit whatever artwork you like. Just make something in voxel art. If you click on the read more, there's sort of suggestions on what software you can use, ideas where to begin, because it's much easier than you think to make voxel art if you haven't made it before. So yeah, jump in, have a go, and submit your art, and then in October we're going to pick the top 16 winners that we like, and then we're going to make a whole DLC world that will be free for everybody to play. So you can submit your art, and there's a chance that your art will be in the game as well. So yeah, check out the competition. More information if you press read more. But yeah, thank you everyone for stopping by on this stream. Just a quick short hour this week. That's just so we can get the rest of the DLC wrapped up and ready for release. So there'll be another stream in 2 weeks' time. Might be on here on Steam, might be on Twitch. We'll find out when that time comes. But yeah, thanks for watching. Check out the DLC, and we'll catch you all later.